Hey everyone, Pinoy X here once again, back with another video for Monster Hunter World Iceborne. With Capcom starting to release Master Rank armor sets as layered in Iceborne, now's a great time for me to go through my top 10 Master Rank armor sets within the Iceborne expansion. Now because there's two differing designs between male and female armor sets, I'm gonna be splitting them into two videos. In today's video, what we're gonna be focusing on is the Master Rank armor set for female characters. So today, what we're gonna go through is my top 10 Master Rank female armor designs within the Iceborne expansion. Now let's go ahead and get straight to it. Starting off at number 10, we have the Savage Devil Joe armor in terms of aesthetics. I love this armor set, especially when it comes to the Alpha armor set, due to the fact that it really gives off that really aggressive gangster leader-like look when it comes to your female character. I mean, just look at her. She looks proper aggressive and she looks like she's about to take down someone as a gangster leader. Now when it comes to the Beta armor set, that gives off a more wrestler-like vibe in my personal opinion, and it's not as aggressive as the Alpha armor set. So for me personally, between the two sets, the Alpha armor set is a much better set simply because of how aggressive it looks in comparison to the Beta version. Now the Beta version does have the mask on it, which is super awesome, but at the same time, it just doesn't really give off that vibe when it comes to looking aggressive in comparison to the spiky hat that you get with the Alpha set. So overall, in terms of the two pieces of equipment, Alpha set wins it for me when it comes to the Savage Devil Joe armor set. Going up to number 9 on our list, we have none other than the PUKEI armor set as well as the subspecies version. Now in this one, what you're seeing is the subspecies version, which is the more orange coloration in comparison to the green. Now there's only one word that I need to use in order to basically give the reason as to why I love this armor set, and that is none other than Bloodborne. This is literally an armor set straight out of Bloodborne, and for the most part, that is an aesthetic that I thoroughly enjoy in the game, and I do want to see it as layered in future, simply because of the fact that the layered armor in the game as of right now is limited, and this is an armor set that we don't really use in any way, shape, or form in terms of functionality. We mostly use this for aesthetic purposes at this point, and I would love Capcom to start bringing it in as a layered piece of equipment when it comes to Iceborne. So this is definitely an armor set that I want to use as layered simply because I want to cosplay a little bit of Bloodborne in Iceborne. Moving on to number 8, we have the Great GIRROS armor, as you can see right here. Now the GIRROS armor set is definitely one that gives off a proper gunslinger vibe in my personal opinion, and to me, it almost looks like she is from a post-apocalyptic world instead of the world of Monster Hunter. Now in terms of what kind of weapon I would use when using this armor set as layered, if it ever does come as layered, I would definitely use a heavy bowgun that kinda looks like a sniper, just because of the fact that she looks like a proper gunslinger when she wears this armor set. So I'm definitely gonna use this armor set as layered when it comes to using any of my gunner builds in the game. Moving on into number 7, we have the Stygian ZINOGRE armor set. Now as you can see here, we actually have a lot of glowing aesthetics on this character, and alongside this, your character has ZINOGRE ears, which is super awesome. Now one of the best things about this character in terms of its overall aesthetics is the glowing aesthetics all over her body. One of the key things that you'll see here as I go around on the back, you can actually see that she has glowing tattoos on her back. Now one of the key issues with the hair is that it's so long that it blocks that glowing tattoo quite a lot. As you can see here, she's moving around. But overall, this is an armor set that is super awesome in my personal opinion, and if you cut the hair a little bit shorter or you decide to wear something else aside from the Stygian ZINOGRE ears, then you can definitely see that super awesome glowing tattoo on her back when it comes to using this armor as layered, if it ever does come up as a layered piece of equipment. Moving on at number 6, we have none other than the standard and the Ebony ODOGARON armor set when it comes to the beta version. Now, for those of you who are looking into my personal opinion in regards to the alpha version, all I really gotta say is the alpha version feels very generic in comparison to the beta version. And the main reason it feels generic is because of the fact that the alpha armor set, in my personal opinion at least, it kinda copies the Nargacuga set in a way, especially with the whole netting thing around the body of the character. And yeah, we already have the Nargacuga set, why do we have that on the ODOGARON set as well? Having said that though, the beta armor set, the reason it ranks up number 6 on my list when it comes to the beta armor set is due to the fact that this is literally just a demonic samurai, and as you can see on the Ebony ODOGARON set, this armor looks super awesome. This is gonna be the same aesthetic that you get when it comes to the male version in terms of its overall theme, but for the most part, a demonic samurai is definitely something that I can't wait to have as layered, especially considering the fact that I main the longsword in this game. So yeah, this is definitely an armor set that I'm gonna be getting as layered if it ever does come out as layered in Iceborne at some point in future. Moving on to number 5, we have none other than the ANJANATH armor set in terms of the beta version. Now we're talking about the standard and the FULGUR ANJANATH armor set, as you can see right here. Now this is the standard version of the ANJANATH armor set, and for the most part, I thoroughly enjoyed this armor set, especially considering the fact that you look like a proper barbarian if you match it with a proper savage looking weapon like the Safi juiva switch axe right here. This is an armor set in my personal opinion that needs to be layered at this point, simply because of the fact that we don't use the ANJANATH armor sets in any way, shape or form other than for looks instead of functionality. So hoping that Capcom really releases this armor set as layered at some point in future, maybe along the lines of the Alatreon release. Just because of the fact that look at her, she looks proper savage with that barbarian look with the FULGUR ANJANATH armor set. Definitely an armor that I would recommend for anyone out there if you want to look like a proper barbarian with your character in Iceborne. Moving on into number 4, we have none other than Furious Rajang's armor set. One word will explain this, and that is none other than Saiyan, and 2 words can pretty much clear out as to why I love this armor set, and that is none other than Super Saiyan. I mean, just look at her. She looks like a proper Super Saiyan straight out of Dragon Ball wearing this armor set. Now, I do love both the alpha and the beta armor set. However, the beta armor set just wins by a little bit for me simply because of the fact that the hairstyle actually looks like a proper Super Saiyan in comparison to the alpha version. This is the beta armor set you're seeing, by the way, so this is the armor set that I prefer in comparison to the other one, simply because as you can see, she has a proper Super Saiyan look to her, and the glow on the fur as well as the hair really completes this set for me in that whole Super Saiyan aesthetic that Capcom was going with when it comes to the Furious Rajang armor. I can't wait for this armor set to become a layered armor, just so I can go ahead and cosplay some Dragon Ball characters when it comes to this armor set. Now before we move on to my top 3 master rank female armor sets in the game, let's first take a look at some honorable mentions. Alright, and we're finally taking a look at my top 3 master rank female armor sets in the game. At number 3, we have none other than the Safi juiva armor. Now this is the transformed state of the Safi juiva armor, and that's one of the main reasons why it's on my top 3 list. It has a transformation gimmick that you don't see when it comes to any other armor. Now the glowing aesthetic of this armor is far more aggressive than any other armor sets that I've seen so far, but even though it has a lot of these super awesome features, one of the main reasons it's only on the 3rd place is due to the fact that, as you can see, this looks like a very knight-like armor that you see a lot in the game. So even though it has this super awesome transformation gimmick, in order to put it quite high in my top 10 list, it only falls flat into 3rd place simply because of the fact that it still looks like a knight based armor at the end of the day. So overall, this is definitely a solid 3rd place armor set that I would love to see as layered in the game in future, simply because of the fact that I do love the transformation gimmick when it comes to the Safi juiva armor set. Shifting into my number 2 set in the game as of right now, for female master rank armor, we have the Raging BRACHYDIOS set. Now as you can see right here, this is an armor set that I thoroughly enjoy because your character looks like a proper robot or even android at this point when it comes to the female armor set. She actually has bladed wings on her and she looks like she has a jetpack on her, and that is super awesome. It looks really futuristic in my personal opinion, considering the fact that this came from a Raging BRACHYDIOS. One of the best aesthetic features of this armor set isn't just the fact that it looks like a proper mecha armor set, it's the whole glowing of the slime from the Raging BRACHYDIOS as well that really completes this armor set for me. Now believe it or not, this is a mixture of the alpha and the beta armor set. So for me personally, mixing the two together is the best formula when it comes to this armor set, and I would definitely love Capcom to release them both at the same time as layered armor so I can go ahead and craft them at the same time and do this combination once again. I do genuinely love this set as a whole. This is a super proper mecha armor set in Iceborne, and I want to see it as layered in the near future. And this, everyone, is my favorite armor set of all time as of right now when it comes to the master rank difficulty for female characters, the master rank called TAROTH set. Now as of right now, the reason that I enjoy this armor set in its entirety and is number 1 on my list is simple. This is a spellcaster armor set. Now for those of you who are familiar with the usual trinity of RPG games, the tank, healer, and DPS, generally speaking, spellcasters tend to fall either on DPS or they tend to fall on healer characters. And that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting when it comes to the master rank of TAROTH set. It actually looks like a healer slash spellcaster kind of character that can dish out a huge fireball at monsters as of right now, even though that's not necessarily something that we can see in the game, unless of course you're using Geralt's overall rune capabilities in Iceborne. Overall, this armor set is definitely an armor set that I enjoy in the game as of right now, simply because it feels drastically different in comparison to the rest of the armor sets that we see in the game so far in terms of its overall aesthetics. And that is pretty much why this is my number 1 master rank female armor when it comes to Monster Hunter World Iceborne. And that is pretty much it for this video, taking a look at my top 10 master rank female armor sets when it comes to their overall design within Monster Hunter World Iceborne. What's your top 10 list when it comes to master rank armor sets for the female characters within this game? Let me know in the comments below your top 10 master rank female armor designs within Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Now that is pretty much it from me for this video. In my next video, what I'll be covering is my top 10 master rank armor sets when it comes to male characters within the Iceborne expansion. Now with all of that being said, if you enjoyed these videos, please consider leaving a like on the video itself and subscribing to the channel, as well as hitting that bell icon so you can go ahead and catch up on any future Monster Hunter content that I might be doing or any other games that I might be playing in future. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Onward and upward.